What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another 5x5 training session. For anybody who's new or hasn't participated before, the idea is that we're going to complete 5 blocks, each of which is targeting a different aspect of our physical fitness for 5 minutes each, okay? So 5 blocks, 5 minutes each. The first one is going to be a dynamic warm-up. The second one is going to be a little bit of what I call neural activation. The third one is going to be some resistance training with 1 or 2 dumbbells, depending on what you have access to. The fourth block is going to be a little bit of conditioning, and then the fifth and final block is going to be a little cool down / stretch, okay? So our first block is going to be our dynamic warm-up. Our first exercise is going to be what I call I's, Y's, T's. So you're going to go ahead and cycle through those movements, keeping your butt tight and your stomach tight, trying to stay up nice and tall. So the idea of the warm-up is to sort of loosen the body up and prepare it for our neural activation block, which is next, and that is going to be just a little bit more intense, okay? So we're gonna work through 5 exercises here in a circuit fashion, about 30 seconds at each exercise, and then we'll cycle through that circuit twice. So one more round here on these I's, Y's, T's. Good. Next one we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little hamstring stretch, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to push your butt back and reach down towards the floor and stand up, trying to get a stretch on the front leg, okay? So a little hamstring reach, okay? So we're targeting the hamstrings. Push your butt back, step forward with one foot, sort of picking the toe up towards your face, and then pushing your butt backwards as you reach down towards that front foot. It's a little hamstring stretch, okay? Just gonna call this a hamstring reach or a heel sweep. All right, so about 30 seconds there. I don't have a timer, so this is all off the cuff. Feel free to keep up with me or to modify the exercise a little bit if necessary, or to increase or decrease your tempo as needed, okay? Next one is a yoga squat. So what we're gonna do, nice wide stance, fingers under our toes. We're gonna drop down to a squat position. Now, if you're able to, you can do a reach over each shoulder, but then we're going to pick our butt up to get a little hamstring stretch and then drop back down and repeat. If you're unable to do the reach, you can just go through that alternating position of butt up, butt down, butt up, butt down. When you're in this down position, push outward on your knees. Try to open the hips up a little bit. When you put your butt up, get a little stretch in your hamstrings. If you need to bring your hands up higher because you can't maintain that position, fingers under the toes, if that's just too much hamstring stretch, that's fine, okay? A couple of yoga squats. Superman press, we're down on our stomachs. We're gonna try to get up on our belly button, reaching our hands and our arms as high towards the ceiling as we can, maintaining eye contact with the floor. We're just gonna go through this overhead pressing motion. So when I'm doing this, I'm sort of keeping my shoulder blades engaged and tight behind me, and I'm keeping my butt tight also. So again, trying to drive your hands up towards the ceiling, keeping your eyes on the floor. These will start to burn the shoulders. If you need to, come down, take a break, especially if you're feeling it in your lower back. If you're really feeling it in your lower back, feel free to keep your feet and your legs on the ground and complete the exercise in that position, okay? Good, a couple Superman presses there. Last one we're gonna do, little glute bridge hold. So we're gonna drop all the way back, push our entire foot into the floor, and just focus on squeezing your backside. You should feel your hamstrings also working a little bit here, but primarily I want you to focus on squeezing your butt and keeping your stomach engaged so that you're not hyperextending your lower back. So tighten your stomach, tighten your butt. We're just gonna hold here for about 30 seconds, probably got about 15 more. So big breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Always try to breathe big when you're exercising, and when you're able to, breathe through the nose. That's just a way to help your body do a little bit better job of vasodilation and improving some ability to get that blood flow going, okay? Nitric oxide. When we breathe through our nose, we produce nitric oxide, or more nitric oxide than when we breathe through our mouths. And nitric oxide is a vasodilator. So breathe through the nose, is just a good thing. All right, let's go through each one of these guys one more time. So again, we're gonna work through these for about 30 seconds. You can go through them a little bit more rapidly if you're feeling good and you're starting to loosen up a little bit, but take your time. And the whole time we're working out today, feel free to either keep pace with me or set your own tempo. All right, just a couple more. Let's go through each position one more time. That might not be quite 30 seconds, but that's okay. Next one, those hamstring reaches. So remember, we're going down, pushing the butt back, trying to drive the toe up towards the face. You should be getting a little hamstring stretch. If you're starting to limber up, you might be able to start to get towards the floor. If not, that's okay. Just go to where you're able to. Just get a couple more on each leg. Stand up nice and tall. Nice and tall, one more each side. Tall and up. Good. Yoga squats. So remember, we have two options. One is just to alternate between this low and high position. Getting a little hamstring stretch at the top here, and then pushing our elbows and driving our knees outwards to stretch our hips a little bit in the bottom, okay? And then if you're able to, you can also get your reach while you're down in your deep squat position. But take your time and just choose whichever option is appropriate for you, okay? Sometimes things look a little bit easier than they are. So, not to say that I'm making this look easy, but if I am, it's not. Good. All right. Superman press. So remember, the idea here, up on the belly, trying to keep the hands up towards the ceiling. The butt is tight if your legs are up. If your back is getting tight, let your legs remain on the floor. So your choice of position, but keep on looking at the floor. Don't try to look forward. Keep your eyes on the floor. Let's do a few more here. Good. All right, and then we're gonna roll on over for our last one. Little glute bridge hold. So stomach is braced. Pushing through my entire foot, squeezing my glutes, and just holding this position here. If it's tough for you to hold the position, just hold it for a few seconds at a time, and then come down and give yourself a little break. Especially if you're feeling a lot of pressure or a lot of tightness starting to develop in your lower back. You can just come up and down. So your choice, either up and down or holding up. But again, trying to press through your entire foot from your heel to the toes, and then really trying to do a good job of squeezing your backside when you bring those hips up. Just a couple more seconds here, or a couple more reps if you're doing a dynamic version of that. And relax. Good. Okay, let's come on up to our feet. So our next block, as I mentioned, is a little bit of neuro activation. So the idea here is quick movement for short periods of time. So we're gonna have 3 exercises. At each exercise, we're gonna do 3 sets of about 10 seconds of work with 20 seconds of rest. Okay, so our first one is gonna be a little lateral hurdle drill. So we're gonna pretend like we're coming up and over small hurdles. Okay, so driving the knees up a little bit, moving side to side. Okay, let's go one more time. Good, and relax. So we'll do 2 more sets like that. Take about 20 seconds to recover. Now, challenge yourself on the tempo. So again, the idea is to be fast. So on this set, let's try to be just a little bit faster. So we're gonna come up and over. One more time. Relax. Good. All right. A couple big breaths into the nose. Out through the mouth. We'll do one more set. All right, here we go. You ready? Fast. One more time. Good, relax. Big breaths. You might feel your hips starting to fire up a little bit, that's okay. Next one, we're gonna pretend like we're doing a chest pass with a medicine ball, and we're gonna step forward as we do so. So, pretend you get your medicine ball. We're gonna step forward and pass. Step forward and pass. Step forward and pass. Like you're trying to throw that ball fast. One more. Good, relax. On the next set, we're gonna do the same thing, but we'll step forward with the other leg, okay? So I was stepping forward with my left on that first set. This set, I'm gonna step forward with my right. You ready? Balls at your chest, big breath in, pass it forward. Pass it forward. Good, relax. Okay, we'll do one more set. You can choose either leg to step forward with. I'm gonna alternate on each one, so I'll do a couple each side. But we're shooting for about 5 or 6 of them, so let's shoot for 6. You guys ready? Big breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good, relax. Good, all right, we're gonna do one more exercise before we move into our resistance block. So our last one is called a drop squat. So the idea is to get our hips down to this half or quarter squat position, but we wanna get down really quick. For those of you who have done these with me before and you want a little more challenge, we're gonna drop to one leg, okay? All right, and we're gonna alternate legs if we're doing that variation. All right, so let's go here. 3, 2, 1, so either both legs. Get down real fast. Get down real fast. Relax, good. So again, 2 more sets. You can choose either both legs like I was just doing, or that single leg version where you are on both legs, and then you're dropping to one leg, and then you're dropping to the other leg, okay? You ready? Same thing. 3, 2, 1. Good, relax. One more set. I'm gonna do single leg on this last one. You choose whichever version works best for you. I'll face this direction. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Good, relax. Okay, so for our dumbbell exercise, you can have either 1 or 2 dumbbells. We're gonna do a dumbbell deadlift, okay? So I've got 2 dumbbells. For anybody who hasn't ever deadlifted before, I'd say start light. Challenge yourself with the weight, only if you feel comfortable with the movement. We're gonna work for 40 seconds and then rest for 20 seconds. We're gonna do 5 rounds like that. So, dumbbell deadlift. We're gonna push our hips back just slightly, squeeze our butt, push our heels into the floor, and stand all the way up, okay? So it's not a squat where your butt's coming down so that your hips come down to where your knees are or lower. It's more of a hip hinge, so that means our hips stay relatively high compared to where our knees are. All right, but the big thing here is to focus on pushing your heels into the floor and pushing your butt back as you're coming forward, and then driving your heels into the floor and squeezing your butt as you stand up. So in the course of 40 seconds, depending on your tempo, you may get somewhere between 8 and 15 reps, okay? So work at your own pace. If you're working with a heavier load, take your time. If you're working with a lighter load, feel free to increase your tempo a little bit. but we'll count that as round 1. We're gonna do 4 more. Got my allergies going on me today, making it hard to breathe through my nose, but if you've got a variation on weights, feel free to work your way up or down as needed as we go through these. All right, round 2. Just remember, it's not a squat, it's a deadlift. Big breath in through the nose, tighten your stomach, drive your heels, squeeze your butt. Let's do 3 more reps. One more. Good, and all the way down. Also make sure that when you're doing these guys, you finish the way you start. So I've seen people tweak muscles just by getting lazy once they finish their repetition, and then they lose form when they're putting their weights down. So always focus on finishing with form that is just as sound as the form you use to start the exercise. Don't get lazy, all right? All right, round 3, same thing. I'm gonna shoot for 12 reps here. So feel free to stay with me on the tempo or work at your own pace. Five more. Two more. Good. Finish how you start. Deadlift, in my opinion, is probably the best bang for your buck in terms of loaded exercises. Works a lot of different musculature, and most people, as long as they have adequate form, can really challenge their strength and focus on trying to get stronger and picking up heavier loads with time. So very good exercise. All right, second to last set. Big breath in. Let's get 12 more if we can. One more. And finish how you started. Good. Okay. We'll do one more set, and then we'll transition into a little bit of conditioning. I feel these. These are good. Big breath in. Exhale. Big breath in. Exhale. Big breath in. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, last one, 12, and all the way down. Okay, make sure you go ahead and move your dumbbells out of your way. Gonna need a little bit of space for this next one. So our conditioning block, the idea is to try to get our heart rates up a little bit. 2 exercises. We're gonna superset, meaning we're gonna bounce back and forth. 20 seconds to the first one, about 10 seconds to recover, very briefly, and then 20 seconds at the next exercise. So first one, we're gonna get ready to start here. It's 5 rounds, back and forth, okay? Just regular bodyweight squats. So on your bodyweight squats, now we are getting the hips relatively low. Trying to increase our range of motion here at the hip joint and the knee joint. Just about 20 seconds. Good, relax. 10 seconds, and then we're gonna do some jumping jacks. Everybody knows jumping jacks. If you have trouble with the impact, you can just work the arms. If overhead hurts, you can do seal jacks, but just keep the body moving. That's the goal here. Okay. Try to stay light on your feet. Time. All right, 10 seconds. And then we're gonna transition back to our bodyweight squats. So that's round 1. We've got 4 rounds. That's 3. 4 rounds to go, okay? 3, 2, 1. Good. Try to keep your body moving. You can move at your tempo. So you can increase your tempo if you want a little bit more challenge. You can slow it down if you need a little less. Let's get one more. Good. All right, 10 seconds, and then we're back to our jumping jacks. 3, 2, 1, and go. Focus on controlling your breath, but take big breaths. Good. Relax. 2 down, 3 to go. Bodyweight squats. 3, 2, 1, and go. Working at your own tempo, guys. But again, trying to get as much range of motion through that squat movement pattern as you can comfortably without feeling like you're compromising your lower back or anything like that. Good. Okay. Jumping jacks. 3, 2, 1, and go. Good. Okay. 2 more rounds, guys. Squats. 3, 2, 1, and go. Good. Jumping jacks. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. One more round, and then we're gonna start to cool down and stretch out a little bit, okay? Not too bad, right? 3, 2, 1, and go. So last set, best set. So if you got a little more in the tank, go ahead and try to push yourself a little bit. as many as you can get. And go for about 5 more seconds. Keep on working. Good. Time. 3, 2, 1. Straight to it. Come on. And time. Good. Cool. So hopefully you got your heart rate up just a little bit during that conditioning block. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cool down. So we're going to hold 5 different stretches for about 20 to 30 seconds on each side. First one is our 90-90 stretch. So here's our seated position. Bring your chest towards your knee until you start to feel a stretch either in your hamstring or your butt on the side of that front leg. And we're just going to hold here. Focus on getting your breaths back in through your nose and out through your mouth. On this, the idea is to bring the body back towards resting levels and to unload some of the joints and the tissue that we loaded with our exercise, okay? So we'll go ahead and we'll get the other side. Same idea. Find your 90-90 position. Gonna drop down. Find your stretch in your glute and or your hamstring on the front leg and hold. Big breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth or the nose. Letting the heart rate come down a little bit. And just trying to relax. So on these stretches, make sure you're getting a stretch, but don't put yourself in a position where you're having to fight the stretch. Next one, a little hurdler stretch. So one leg is in, opposite leg is out. We're reaching towards the foot. It's okay if you can't get to your foot. Just work your way down your leg until you find a good stretch in the hamstring on that extended leg. And just hold, okay? Still focus on breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then once you're able to, focus on just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. But still, big controlled breaths, so again, trying to help facilitate recovery here. And the other thing that happens when we do a workout, something that's challenging or strenuous, is we activate our fight or flight aspect of our nervous system. So focusing on breathing in through the nose and or out through the nose is a good way to start to shift back into our, what we refer to as our parasympathetic or our rest and digest recovery aspect of our nervous system. So again, the whole idea during this segment is to start to try to downshift the body and bring it back towards a relaxed resting state. Couple more seconds there. Good. Next one, we're going to roll over onto our side. We're just going to do a little lying quad stretch. So you're going to bring one foot back. Try to keep your knees close to each other. Try not to let that leg come out of position and start driving up toward the ceiling. Try to keep it down. Allow yourself to brace your head so that you're not working your neck a whole bunch to hold your head up. And if you're not getting a stretch in this position here, push your hips forward towards the wall in front of you, and that will start to increase the stretch that you feel in your hip and or your quad. And that's the area that we're targeting. So we'll hold this for a couple more seconds, then we're going to flip on over. Cool. Let's flip it on over. Same thing on the opposite side. Grab a hold of that leg, get the knee down towards the bottom leg, and stretch. It's early in the morning here. The sun's starting to peek out. And that's one of my favorite things about doing stuff like this early in the day. Let's call it money in the bank. Good. All right, Piriformis. So on this guy here, you're gonna cross one leg over top of the other. Uh-oh, dropping change. And then you're gonna hug, dropping more change. I didn't even know I had change. And hugging in towards the chest just a little bit. Okay, you can crunch up into it. If just crossing your leg over top is enough, or pulling your leg in is too challenging, you can just take this crossed position here and sort of push your knee away from you a little bit, and that effectively stretches the same area. Okay, so just try to keep yourself relatively relaxed, focusing on your breathing. Cool, let's do the other side, same thing. So you can either hug in or lay back and just push the knee away from you. Good. All right, one more. Call this a sleeper stretch. So you're going to take the arm, let it fall towards the floor, and apply just a little bit of pressure to the wrist, and you should feel this stretch in your shoulder. You can lean slightly forward and slightly backwards to adjust how much and where you feel the stretch. But just be sure that you're not really pushing too hard on that wrist or that hand. Doesn't take a whole lot of pressure to make this stretch pretty effective. If you have something that you want to rest your head on, you're welcome to. But cool. And let's just get the other side real quick. Same idea. All right. Drop the shoulder. And it's okay if you can't get to the floor. You can see that I can't get to the floor today. My shoulders are pretty tight. They've done a lot this week in terms of workload. So I'm just going to be nice and easy. Just gradually increase that stretch as I'm able to. If I had my foam roller closer, I'd be resting my head on that. Just take your time. Cool. You can hold that for a few more seconds, especially if it's feeling pretty good. That's our 5x5 for today, guys. If you don't do anything else, try to implement this a couple times or a few times this week. You can use this as a good addition to your other training. You can use it on your off days as a little bit of active recovery and omit things like the resistance training. Or you can just do this as something that is your all-encompassing workout for the day and repeat it a few times over the course of the week. Appreciate you guys following along. If you got any questions, always feel free to shoot me a message. Follow me on social media at NextForm Fitness, and talk to you guys next time.